All right, guys, it is Rick Ginn, and I think today is a really, really fitting topic. And we're talking about virtual wholesaling secrets for 2023. So, since I still consider myself not so much a rookie in virtual marketing, but I haven't done it for 20 years. And I'm going to share with you everything I've learned since I started this journey because there's something about when you leave your own backyard market and go to what we call a virtual market. It's a little bit scary and exciting at the same time. And I'm going to share with you the information I've learned from doing this and get your head right so you can do this. And most importantly, I'm going to share the tips that worked in my business in the very beginning and the ones I've adapted to today. And you can actually just copy what I do. So most of what we're going to talk, we go into great detail at freewholesaling.com, how to do your business locally and how to do it virtually. And that is the place you always want to start on it. So I'm going to put up right there for you. It's on the bottom there. If you are new to this channel, my name is Rick Ginn. I've been a wholesaler for 20 years, approaching 21 years, and absolutely love this business. And it's had a profound change in my life, my family's life, and especially, my son Zach's life. So if you are brand new to this course, go over to freewholesaling.com. We have a course in there. Don't be scared by the word course because it's free. The only thing we're going to ask you up front is your email. In exchange, you get access to the most detailed wholesaling course out there, paid or free, because we have no funnels for free. We just give you everything for free. So if you have any questions, use your comment section to the side of your screen, put in your question. If you can introduce yourself, let us know what market you're in. I don't know, you might make a friend. There's a lot of like-minded people here. Be perfect for you. And guys, make sure you are subscribed to this channel because that's the way you can be updated and notified when we go live. And please make sure, if you like the content, smash that like button. It helps us share this video with more people just like you, looking to get started or jumpstart your wholesaling business career without navigating through the landmines of all these gurus with little experience and big price tags. And for that reason, this is why we do it. So today we are talking about virtual wholesaling secrets, and I want you to use these for 2023. And I hate the word secrets, by the way. So it's not really like trade bait type of deal, but there's a lot of like internal things because honestly, virtual marketing has only been around probably the last 7-8 years, like a mainstream. So I didn't start out doing it, but I did it because I could penetrate other markets besides my own South Florida market. So if you are in a saturated market like I am, I don't believe there are saturated markets. Whoever does the business best and the most consistent will always win. So don't ever be scared of saturation, but it is intimidating to start in places like downtown New York City, San Francisco, Miami, and so on and so on. So if you're in one of those places, this one's definitely for you. If you're looking to expand your business, you've already maxed out your local market, this one's definitely going to be for you. So I know a lot of people have like between all the food we've eaten and everything we've done. So let's make this as fun and interactive as possible. Also in the comment section on the tippy top, I've pegged the top comment on there. If you want to join a live one-on-one mastermind, as I said, I will answer questions as long as I have people on here. So here's how we do it, guys. This is for real. I do this for free, but I do value my time. If you want to get on with the one-on-one mastermind, if you want to talk about a deal, if you've never done a deal, anything that has to do with wholesaling, and honestly, anything you want to do is if you want to talk to just me on anything real estate, I would love to talk to you guys about it. Just got back from a long fishing weekend and I had a blast doing it. So I was still able to do my wholesaling. I was still able to write deals, follow up with my staff, and that's why we all do wholesaling. So if you want to do the one-on-one, the link is in the comments on the top part. Just click that. And as I said, I answer questions on the comments and then when we do the live. So what I want to do is I'm going to take about 20 minutes, just go through the teaching segment of this, and I will keep it as exciting as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody's well wishes for the holidays and the new year, and I wish you guys all the same. The main thing is, guys, don't take off 2 weeks like a lot of people are doing. Get your business organized, get everything in order, and be serious about what you're doing. But remember, the purpose of getting in the wholesaling for most of you is for you to get freedom of your time, which will eventually get you your financial freedom. So don't forget that. I've spent a lot of time with families. I know it's cold all over the country. I know you guys, we're not even going to do a temperature check because like parts of Florida are in the 20s, which is obscene. So I didn't get below the 30s, but our businesses are not designed for weather like this. And we have trouble heating it up. So I just took off my winter wardrobe jacket and this is where we're at on this now. So let me get into it here. Let's see here. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. Got it. So as I said, put in your comments. I promise I'll follow up with them and they're just going to have to wait. So when we talk about virtual market, the most important thing is you have to define defined it, first of all. And the first thing you have to understand on a virtual market is defined as any market not in your local market. So what is the difference? I look at a virtual market anywhere you would have to go spend the night and come back. So some people, like I consider anything outside of 75 to 100 miles a virtual market. If you can drive 50 or 75 miles, that's not really a virtual market. It's just more of a stretched market. I'm talking about literally when you hop state to state. And the first thing I always tell everybody is you have to be familiar with the local laws. And the first and foremost, to make sure you understand how closings work in that state. That is probably one of the biggest challenges that people have to deal with, because if you don't understand how the closings work, you can't take a deal down. Some states require attorneys, some don't require attorneys, and make sure you are familiar with it and you are comfortable with it, because that is one of the biggest things you have to understand before you start any type of virtual wholesaling. So make sure you research your state laws, make sure you are familiar with the protocol there. You can reach out to title companies, you can reach out to attorneys. Title company is going to be the preferred way to do it, and that's the best way. Before you dive into that market, you know how to attack it. So once you do that, I'm going to give you the first clue here, and this is a secret, but it's not a secret, and I want to share it with you now. There is a huge advantage over virtual market, over local market, and there's a huge advantage over a local market versus a virtual market. So I'm going to give you the obvious here, but you have to understand this. Speed versus location advantage for virtual wholesaling. Now, you don't have the location advantage when you do virtual wholesaling. You're not going to get it. The only way you're going to get it is with experience and time. That's something that you have to accrue on the calendar as you go forward. I tell everybody it takes about 3 months to really get efficient at doing a virtual market. Why? Because you have a huge location disadvantage. You cannot physically meet with people on the drop of a dime. So you have to know that going into it. Here's how you counteract that and how you beat it. It's speed. Speed kills in wholesaling. I've always said it. It's not just in probates, but in virtual marketing, you have to have the speed advantage. Well, Rick, what does that mean? When you have someone on the phone, you have to create a heightened sense of urgency. You don't have the luxury of driving over to the property saying, hey, can I write a contract on it? Can I look at it? You do not have that advantage, and you have to understand that. So you can get away with that locally, but I'm here to tell you, when you do it virtually, you have to keep them on the phone as long as you humanly possibly can, as long as they are a motivated seller, which you've qualified with the MCTP, and you have to become very proficient in speed because you will be beat out by local competition. So let me give you an example. I learned this hard lesson when I started virtual marketing. I treated virtual markets like I treated my local market. And I'm here to tell you, I got killed the first 6 months I did, probably the first 9 months. You know why? Because I took my time. I'm like, I'll get somebody out there to look at the house. If it looks good, we'll write a contract. And before I knew it, there were other wholesalers, other investors, and other realtors that were just writing contracts on the spot. They weren't even looking at it. And I'm like, how can they possibly do this? Well, the reality is they learned speed, and I learned speed from them. So when we do our local markets, we create the urgency still, but we have the power of going to visit people. So when you're doing virtual marketing, you have to hyper accent your speed. How do you get speed? It's really, really simple. You have to make offers. You have to make more offers than your competition. And how do you do that? You're going to have a massive amount of volume, because you are going to have to find what we call the low-hanging fruit in the first few months so you can become profitable, so you can reinvest back into your marketing budget, so you can make more money and make it easier. But in the beginning, it's hard because you don't know that local market. And so for that reason, you have to understand speed. So when you have somebody on the phone and they're motivated, you have to try to take them down right there. Now, it's going to take some time and some skill. So that's why we want you to have more volume, which will create more offers. More offers going to lead to more accepted contracts. And that's going to get a skill set to really master speed. I didn't master speed when I first did it. I thought I could rely on other people. I thought by me going slow, it was going to give me the advantage. It was an extreme disadvantage. So if you're considering a virtual market or you're in a virtual market, I want you to understand speed doesn't mean you run over the seller. It doesn't mean that at all. But once they get to the point where you know they qualified, you have to start pushing sooner than later, because if you don't, you're going to be beat out by your competitor. And then this is what I learned the hard way. I missed out on dozens and dozens of deals in the beginning because I thought I was doing the right thing by taking my time. The reality is when you find someone that needs to sell sell a house, you have to write a contract, you have to write your contingencies on it, and you have to get them to that finish line faster or you're going to be beaten out because you can't get in a car and you can't go do it. So we are much more proactive in writing contracts virtually. To be honest with you, I took a lot of my virtual strategies and I used them for my local, and it helped my business out tremendously. So you've got to understand the speed kills your location disadvantage. So you need to have the speed advantage. There is no way, in my opinion, you can do a virtual market without having a phenomenal speed emphasis. So if you take one thing from today's live stream, please understand that speed is everything. And that's how you overcome your location disadvantage. Also understand you don't really know relative prices. And here's the advantage of a virtual market when you do that. You have to write really good deals. A lot of times when we do it locally, we think we know what the value is and we get real close to it. When you're doing it virtually, you really don't know, and you have to rely on a lot of your software skills. And for that reason, speed is everything. More volume, more offers, more contracts that will help you get through that hump. On average, it's about 3 months. How do I know this? I learned it. If you don't use speed, you're going to quadruple the amount of time it takes you to be successful in a virtual market. So understanding speed, it's everything. If you don't understand how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you how to do it. You have to really engage your motivated sellers on the phone because you're not going to be able to do it in person. And don't be one of those people who say, oh, I'm going to rely on FaceTime and videos and Zoom. It doesn't work real well. I've just tried, but most people rather just take the deal down on the phone. And by the time you go to try to set up that call, if you disengage your phone call, you're going to create a problem with it. So speed is everything. I gotta edit that. I had a typo here. Let's see. Okay. The next one is you're going to have to learn what we call the virtual close. End of story. This is where I got absolutely killed because I didn't understand it. And I didn't know how to train my employees to do it. Closing people over the phone's a lot different when doing it in person. In person, you have a huge advantage. Why? Because 70% of all communication is nonverbal. Now, if I'm going to take that 70% away and now I have to negotiate with you, you are at somewhat of a disadvantage if somebody was local. So what do we have to do when we're trying to virtually close someone if we understand that's how we have to take down these deals? Number one, you have to understand you have to keep your seller engaged on the phone. So if your seller is committed to take action, aka signing a contract, signing an addendum, or anything like that, go ahead and prepare whatever you're using, DocuSign, eSign, whatever it is, and that's just an electronic way of signing the contract. When you send it over to them, stay on the phone with them. I can't be any more clear on this. You will lose more people virtually by saying, listen, I'm going to send you over an eSign, a DocuSign. Go ahead and sign it and send it back to me. And then you're shocked when they ghost you and they wait 2 or 3 days and you don't hear back from them and find out they either listed the house or they went with another investor. I want you to understand, for you to protect against that, you have to do everything you can to keep them on the phone, keep them engaged while you send this sensitive electronic document over. We don't want to send blank documents over. And honestly, if they're going to pit it against you and use it against another investor, I'd rather you not give it to them. So by staying on the phone with them, number one, you can confirm they received your email. Yes, Rick, I got your email. Hey, you want to look over the contract together and let me know if you have any questions? Or would you like me to go through it to reiterate everything we discussed earlier on this phone call? Simple as that. Walk through it and just ask them, do you have any questions? Great. If you're happy with everything, all I need is your okay on that little checkbox. Just click there. That'll be your authorized autograph. Send it over and I'll go ahead and get the title pulled and we'll go ahead and get everything ready to go. Make sure this is the point where they have any type of hesitation. You are better off just dealing with the objection right there, as opposed to them taking it to their friends, their families, their realtors, and everybody else. Why not just nip it in the bud if you have them on the phone? I made a huge mistake by not doing this. And if you can understand this part, you have to do the virtual close. Do not leave it to blind luck sending in an email. See if they get the email. Sometimes it winds up in their spam folder, guys. We have to pull it out. So number one is you send it. And number two is you make sure they got it and you confirm it and they open the email. And then number three is that's when you reiterate and recertify everything you've gone over to them, that the contract is exactly what they said, because that's one of the biggest things people want to do is they want to make sure your contract matches up to their word, because sellers will hold you to their word much more than what you ever did in the contract. So if you told them this and you have a different sayings on your contract, if you told them you're buying it for 100 and then the price is 95, you're going to have a problem. So a lot of times people won't close virtually because they don't think what you told them verbally matches up to what you said on the contract. So if you'll just reiterate the contract, contract, it will make a tremendous difference in your success of getting signed contracts. Once you do that, you carefully go through it. Some don't want to go through it all. Some want to go through it super fast. Some don't want to go at all. Just sign wherever you need to do. Find out what type of seller you have on that phone. On that phone, that's the time to do it. Not when they're trying to chase them down 2-3 days later, trying to figure out what they ever did with that contract. And you can protect yourself by doing the virtual close. It is a little bit challenging at first. It's a little intimidating, but you are better off having them on the phone and walking them through it. So find out when they're going to be available and set in a virtual appointment to do it if you can't do it on the phone. But honestly, if someone's agreeing to you and they are solid with the price, all your terms, everything, the dates, then why not just go ahead and do the e-sign, send it over, make sure they got it, and have them sign it right there. Once they sign it, you'll get instant. Usually, I get instant confirmation. It just depends on the type of service you use. So it's important you do the virtual close, because without it, you will get every excuse in the book. So the best way to do this, and by the way, this works locally too. If you've agreed and you've got to make changes and you send them an e-sign or a DocuSign, get them on the phone and have them walk through their email electronically signed. Guys, the virtual close not only works in a virtual market, it also works in your local market. You're crazy if you don't institute this. By keeping them on the phone, it mitigates all excuses. It makes sure they have no objections. And if they have an objection, you can easily and systematically overcome it. So it's really, really important. Okay, we're moving along here. I'm reading your guys' comments as we go. Guys, ignore, that's so funny. Love spammers. Okay, so our next one is, you got to follow the money. So I already teach all you guys how to do this over at freewholesaling.com, but let me reiterate the short version of it. The beauty of going to a virtual market is you get to pick the perfect market. You didn't grow up there. You didn't live there. You don't have relatives there. You are picking the market purely based on the money. Why? Because why go to what you think is a super saturated market or a market that really has a small population? So number one, understand, follow the money. The rule of following the money is you have to have a healthy population to be able to buy your deals. Any market under 50,000 is questionable. I would stay away from it because you're not going to have a ton of leads and you're going to have few and far between cash buyers. That's rule number one. That's part of following the money. The second part of it is you got to find your cash buyers in that area. We have to have a healthy amount of cash buyers to make a virtual market work. Now, you can get all this data. You can go online. You can get it. You can get it at Zach Data, listrei.com, whichever you want to do. But honestly, you can actually just go to Facebook's group, scrape cash buyers, and you can find out where the cash buyers are based on the amount of posts. It's really not hard. And honestly, I teach you how to reverse engineer anybody's cash buyers list so you can have the absolute maximum amount of success. Why do the hard work when other wholesalers are going to brag? They're going to let their ego get the best of them. And then from there, they are going to give you a free roadmap on how to do it. Guys, follow the money. It makes a tremendous. So the other part of following the money is you want to find the top wholesalers in that area. And this piggybacks on the previous conversation I said before. If there's wholesalers putting out posts on Facebook, Craigslist, Instagram, I'm having massive success here. How do you find out? Get on their cash buyers list. It's crazy, guys. I find most of my virtual markets exactly how I'm telling you this. I look for other people's success. I verify it. How do I verify it? I can go in public records and see what they sold for. I can pull up the zip codes and I can instantly identify a pattern. Once I find a pattern, I go and test it. And once I know it works, then I jump all over it. Guys, follow the money. So the first thing you do is make sure you have the right population. Follow the cash buyers. And honestly, the key to finding the cash buyers is you can go in public record and find them. You can use any of the data services that we provide. And then the other one is you can simply just find wholesalers bragging, using their ego over their business to tell you exactly where to go. Just get signed up on their wholesale list, because at freewholesaling.com, we teach you how to vet your cash buyers list. Most wholesalers don't vet anything. It's just a mass produced thing. And it's easy to, heck, you don't even hide on their list. You're just, a lot of times we're just right out there blatant about it. They don't care because they don't look at it. And if you do that, you can easily follow the money. The last final tip on following the money is go find the real estate agent cash buyers. They're really easy to find. They're going to be in MLS. You'll find them online. Find out who has the most cash transactions and follow the money. If you find a realtor that did 15 15 transactions in a particular zip code, area, or city, then they're probably going to have the pulse on most wholesalers in that area. And for that reason, you follow the money, you can really build a list and make it work really well. So following the money, this works in any business. Wholesaling is no different. If you're going to go virtual, most of us pick our local market because we live in that area. We're comfortable. We understand it. We understand the pricing. We know the people. When you go to virtual, the only way to truly make a best virtual market is use the secret tactics we use is follow the money. Money doesn't lie to you. You've got it. Like the data will tell you exactly where to go. And then part of it is your confidence level and what you want to do that. And we're going to talk about that here in the next one. So let me pull that one up. That brings us to the next one. Confidence beats experience in virtual marketing. Now, I know that seems like an oxymoron statement, but I'm here to tell you it's never been more true today than what I'm telling you right now. The person who delivers the most confidence over the phone, because remember, confidence has to be heard for virtual marketing. It can't be seen. You are at a 70% disadvantage from a physical location person visiting you being on the phone. So let me stress this enough. It is utterly important that your seller is highly confident you can help them out. And if they sniff the slightest bit of I'm not sure, I don't know, I've never heard that before, you're going to have challenges. Now, I don't want you to be scared because a lot of you are brand new doing the virtual market, and that's okay. I was in your shoes too. I'm here to tell you, your confidence in is how you deliver your script, how you convert your scripts to conversation. You have to, confidence is going to be a raw skills wholesaler, hands down. Why? Because the only person you have to win over is your motivated seller. That's it. And I learned in wholesaling in the beginning, my art was in finding motivated sellers. I had no idea how to do this business. And I knew if I could find motivated sellers, I could probably piecemeal the rest of it together. It took me some time, but I got it all together. Guys, this is not like your classic schooling. You don't go to school for 4, 6, 7, 8 years and try to put it all together. It's actually the opposite. You go to work, and you go to work and you make money while you learn the experience. See, schooling teaches us to wait till the very end, then apply theory to real world, which is most shocking to most people. And then you have to make money doing it. So I'm never going to limit you guys with a salary. That's probably why you're here at wholesaling. But I will tell you, if you think I'm crazy, I could teach someone to be the most confident person on the phone versus a person 20 years experience with me who's ever more confident between me and that person is going to win that conversation. They're going to win that motivated seller. Why? Because everyone that's doing that virtual market doesn't really know the local market. They don't know the local settings. They don't know local pricing. So the one factor that you can beat anyone else on is confidence. Now, here's the catch with confidence. If you've never done a deal before, it's okay because you don't have to wait to get your first couple of deals with confidence. Ready for this? Here's the big secret. I almost need a drum roll for this one. I'm going to knock stuff over to do a drum roll. You have to practice. You have to practice what you preach. The more you practice, the more you rehearse, the better off you're going to get. Remember, guys, when you're doing virtual, your basic tool set is your phone. Everything else data collects you with it. When you connect with a person, even if you convert them from SMS, at some point you have to connect with them the phone. The phone is your weapon. So whoever is most confident, clear, and delivers a clear tone is going to win. My 20 years experience is not going to beat a lot of you guys in virtual market. I know it. I've been through it. Actually, I was probably one of the worst virtual marketers when I started it. Why? Because I tried to apply my local knowledge to virtual and it didn't work. So if you have to understand this, if you deliver a clear confidence to your motivated sellers, you will do wonders. Don't worry, you can figure the rest of it as you go along. Go over to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to show you how to do the whole thing. But guys, the confidence is everything. So if you have a script, practice. Have somebody in your family throw you curveballs, left balls. Go on the live today. Let's do a live. I'll help you out because I'd rather you practice with me and your peers than practice on people that you've worked your butt off on your driving for dollars, your government list, your probates, whatever you get. You're better off doing it now and practicing. The worst thing you can do is go and you get a motivated seller and they really want to sell you a property and you go, I don't know, man. I've never heard of that before. If you they're like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean you never heard of that before? Remember, you don't have to know everything in wholesaling. You just have to win your sellers over. How do you do it? You do it with confidence. And the last one, I'm going to wrap it up here and then we'll jump in the questions and the lives. So if you want to jump on a live for the one-on-one, it's absolutely free. There is a comment on the top under Rick In. Just to make sure you click that and you get in line there. So that helps out a lot. So it really comes down to who wants it more. Whoever wants it more will win. So I know that's kind of a cliche, but it's the truth. And let me break this down and even make it simpler. Whenever you do wholesaling, I don't care if you do it virtually or local, it's going to come down to whoever takes the most action is probably going to have the most success. The person who comes up with an excuse will always have an excuse. If you take action over excuse, you will get a lot done. The minute you come up and start stacking on the excuses, you're just copping out. That's all you're doing. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I can tell it to you because I don't take money from you guys. The reality is he or she that takes the most action and buries their excuses will typically do the best in virtual marketing. That holds true for all types of wholesaling, but especially for virtual, because in the beginning, you feel like you're uncomfortable. And so you've got to really want it. How do I know you want it? You take a massive amount of action and you get rid of excuses, and you can have a problem, but you have to find the solution for it. An excuse is just a wall someone puts up to justify why they don't want to do it anymore. You can do this all day long, guys. I've heard so many excuses. You can't give me one I haven't heard. Guys, you got to understand, I used to make excuses. I used to be the number one excuse producer. And I'm telling you, if you're going to make excuses, they are just going to kill you. And I guarantee it's over with. So the best way, if you start coming up with excuses, go, I'm going to replace excuses with action. And you know what? Whoever really wants it more, that's all it takes in virtual wholesaling. How do I know it? I didn't do well when I first started, but I knew I wanted to keep doing it. I wanted to keep going. And for that reason, guys, if you will replace excuses with massive amounts of action, I'm telling you, you can fix any of your problems in wholesaling. Excuses I can't fix. I have no fix for you, because an excuse is something you build inside your head. You build a wall and it means you're not going to get it done and you're trying to justify it. And for that reason, I can't help out with excuses. So do me a favor. If you start to make excuses, just catch yourself. We all do it. It's actually human nature. And 95% of the population is just full of excuses. We as wholesalers, our whole business model is created on fixing problems. Most of the people we deal with just bury us in their excuses. Our job is to find a way to help them out, get their house sold, make a profit, and make a win-win for the cash buyer, the wholesaler, and the motivated seller. That's all we do. If you bury yourself in excuses, you can't get it done. So he or she who wants it more, who will win it. How do they do that? It's the persons that actions dominate their excuses. And the minute they're throwing out excuses, they're finding a way to just bury them. An excuse doesn't solve anything. It just, think about it. I don't want to cold call today. I don't feel like doing it. There's no way to overcome it. I can't make a cold call. So if you telling me excuse, but it's not, don't worry about telling me. It's the excuses we tell ourselves. That's the problem. It's like a permission slip we write. So you're ever in like school and you had to get a permission slip to go to the bathroom? That's all you're doing with your excuses. So the key with excuses is recognize them when they come up. And if you have a chronic pattern of making an excuse, identify it, address it, and correct it and replace it.